Hi, guys. I got a story that went back quite a while. This is one of those pretty heavy stories that I really shouldn't talk about a little bit because of my podcasts that are coming out soon. They want to save these stories, but I thought it was time to come out with another story that was a little powerful. It was a guy named Gus Farace. He did time in prison for manslaughter or something like that. Real tough guy, big guy, steroid freak, big, huge fucking body, arms, and fairly good-looking guy. He went into a little luncheonette in Staten Island where my mother-in-law and father-in-law owned it. And my wife and my sister-in-law would go and help them in the restaurant. One day when my wife wasn't there, he came in and he started asking my sister-in-law, "Where's your sister? She looks just like you. They're twins." And my sister-in-law told him, "She's married." And I understand he said, "I don't give a fuck." "Well, maybe you should. She's married to Sammy the Bull." He said, "I don't give a fuck." Now, I don't recall exactly who told me this, but it came back to me. I was a little annoyed at it. Not the part that he liked my wife. That's, a man could look at her. She was a good-looking woman. He could like her. But the point of saying he didn't give a fuck who she was married to and stuff like that bugged me up a little bit, but I never followed up. I never really did anything. He was a drug dealer, and he was in trouble all over the place. I didn't know him personally. I heard of him. I started asking about him. And the next time I heard about him, he was in a car doing drug deals or something with a black guy. He kind of thought that the questions that he was asking him while they were making deals, he started thinking that this guy may have been an undercover, not cop, but an undercover informant. So they must have had words in the car, and he shot and killed him. He was a cop. He was a DEA agent. There was a confusion with the wires. The backup teams were listening, and it all blanked out for a while. They went over there, and this DEA agent was dead. A massive investigation took place. Agents, FBI agents, were going to the mafia. They were shaking up everything. Clubs, breaking balls with, "We want this guy," or whatever they wanted. They were investigating, trying to get him. Now it was out in the paper that he was an undercover agent, and there was this massive investigation. So he was kind of laying low. He had a gun with him all the time, from what I heard. I guess he was ready to have a shootout with the cops or whatever he was thinking. He had a relationship with the Bonanno family, from what I understood. One day, my wife answered the door, and she said, "Sammy, there's FBI by the door." I went to the door and I says, "What can I do for you?" He says, "Sammy, we want you to tell John Gotti that we want this guy found, and we don't care how." The way they said it, I just had to ask the question, "Are you asking me to kill him?" "Oh, no, Sammy, no, we're not going there. But we don't give a fuck how he's found." "Oh, really?" And about the thing with John Gotti, I'm not a messenger, bro. If you want to talk to John Gotti, go to his house yourself. I'm not going to go to him and tell him that what you want. And they left. This thing really got serious in the neighborhood. They were really pushing on things, and Later on, I heard that police did go to John Gotti's house. I'm not sure if he did or didn't. But they were bothering everybody about this. What happened is that there was two brothers, Junior Chili, who was a captain in the Bonanno family, and Jerry Chili, who was a made guy. They must have had some sort of a relationship with this Gus Farace. And they took him into Manhattan, where Jerry Chili's daughter had an apartment. And they hid him out in there. He told his daughter, let the kids stay here. People are looking for him, this, that, and the other thing. And that was a tremendous position that they put themselves in by doing that. With law enforcement, with the mob, with the whole thing. Especially that this guy was a complete fucking lunatic. I mean, this is not the type of people we wanted around us. Some steroid freak, taking drugs, has no respect for anybody, just like he did with me. Sammy the Bull is her husband. I don't give a fuck. He would have gave a fuck if we would have bumped into each other, but like I said, I never pushed the situation. He had sex with Jerry Chili's daughter. After hiding him in there, they found out what happened. And the Bonanno family, Jerry Chili and Junior Chili, were fuming. We're hiding him from the law. We put ourselves in a bad situation both ways. And this is what you do? He not only had sex with her, but he banged her around the apartment a little bit. Maybe they had words or whatever it was. And the Bonanno family now, for that reason. I know there's a lot of reasons. They'll say there was contracts because of he was putting pressure on the mob. Mob didn't want nothing to do with killing him or doing anything with him because of pressure. But this was agreed by the mob. Hit this fucking kid. Take him out. But he knew he fucked up, and he took off out of that Manhattan apartment and was running around the streets with some of his friends. I didn't know his friends. There was one kid that he was friends with, a guy named Joe Boy. Now, he didn't know about any contract or anything, but he knew there was a problem with him. He was his friend. He was packing too. They made an appointment with him in Brooklyn, Bensonhurst, Brooklyn, I believe it was. And at this meeting, they had these two guys, maybe more, were involved in the hit to kill him. I understood that one of the kids, or both, two of the kids, their father was a cop, an NYPD cop, I believe. When they went to this appointment, he showed up with Joe Boy. They started shooting. They hit him. The other guy, Joe Boy, took out a gun. He was shooting at the hit team. They shot him too. He flopped down. They killed Gus Farace. Joe Boy was in the Gambino family. The Bonanno people complained about him shooting back. There's a hit. Why did this kid interfere? It went to John. That's where I come in. John wanted to talk about killing Joe Boy. The problem was that Joe Boy's father, a guy named Gus, was a made guy in the Gambino family. His uncle was Joe Butch, a captain in the Gambino family. They came and they spoke for him. The kid didn't know. He didn't know it was a hit team. He didn't know what the fuck it was. He didn't mean to interfere. They pleaded their case to save his life. Me and John talked about it. I remember telling John, if he didn't mean it and he didn't know what the kid did, I mean, what would we do if somebody started shooting at us? Wouldn't we shoot back? And he is related to two friends of ours, a captain and a made guy. This is his father. John agreed. Wasn't a big argument. It wasn't a big problem. He agreed. And he said, we'll give him a pass on this hit. But we got to really talk to Joe Butch. And Joe Butch has got to talk to Gus about his kid. We don't go walking around the fucking streets with guns. And this kid here, he made a mistake, but what kind of shit are you hanging out with? A fucking junkie, a steroid fucking freak, a kid's got no fucking respect for nobody. What are you doing with this fucking kid? You bring shame to us. For that reason, we thought about killing him. John was going to tell this to Joe Butch and Gus. He did. Talked to them and told them that. We gave him a pass. And basically, that's the way it ended as far as Joe Boy. The Bonanno family was talking to one of those kids or two of those kids who were on this hit, and the son of a cop, was being questioned what he knew, his knowledge about this hit. He was investigating it. They were afraid that he would talk to his father, and they killed him, from what I understood. I don't know all of these characters that I'm talking about, but talking with John Gotti, this is the information that was coming to me. I understand there's stories in newspapers and every other shit that's a little different. I don't tell stories that I read in the newspapers. So mine's a little different. You could take it however you want to take it. But that's my story of what went on, what I understood about this case. There was a lot of conversation between us, the Gambino family, and the Bonanno family with Junior Chili. This is what we did. We didn't kill Joe Boy, but we're going to tell you the same thing. How could you take this fucking bum into your daughter's house? Did he rape her? No. What are you doing with your daughter? Look what she did. Let's analyze that. Because we analyzed what Joe Boy did. What about your daughter? Now, we're not asking you to kill her or do anything like that. But don't walk around cocky. Don't be too fucking proud of what you did. That kid should have never been in that apartment. This kid tried to fuck around with my wife, which I didn't take no offense to. But he made a fucking statement when someone told him that's Sammy the Bull's wife. He didn't give a fuck. He said it. I don't give a fuck. No, if he would have been in my fucking house, he would have been dead. In my house. Cosa Nostra is about a lot of things. A lot of people's lives. It's twisted, it's tangled, it's mixed in so many different ways. At some points, we actually bunk into and have relationships with cops. And I don't mean good relationships or mega conversations, but they're always on us 24/7. You get to know who they are. That's what I thought when the FBI came to me. And I welcomed it. 2 agents. No matter what way, Sammy. Whoa. There would be nothing better for me to do for the government to kill somebody for them. That would give me a license to do whatever the fuck I felt like doing. How could they ever deal with me or fuck with me or do anything? But they checked themselves right away. But that was the message. They wanted this kid so fucking bad. They were in every single club. I read something that they only went around and talked to 2 or 3 people. That's bullshit. I don't know where the newspapers get some of these stories. They were in every club. Every guy in my era probably would tell you they were in our club, because they were. They bothered everybody. They were putting pressure. They wanted him given up. They didn't give a fuck how his body turned up. I don't think there was any investigation of, very little investigation of what the fuck went on, who killed him, and I don't think they gave a shit. But I do think that somebody was arrested and took a plea to cop out to the murder and or participating in the murder somehow. I don't know those kids, and I don't know what happened with them. But it's a real, true mafia story that involved a few families. At bare minimum, the Gambino family, the Bonanno family, and the killing of a DEA agent. Now, you were dealing with this agent that you didn't know from a hole in the wall. What kind of man was he? Think about it. Don't know this guy from a hole in the wall and he's dealing drugs with him. Now, all of a sudden, he catches a delusion and he kills the agent. You killed the wrong fucking guy. But even killing another guy, supposing he was a black guy and he wasn't an agent, and you're talking with him. He had no value for life. He didn't even make sure if the guy was, he didn't know the guy was an agent, so he wouldn't have known if he's an informant. He probably could have killed anybody. So the moral of the story is this kid did not belong to us in the mafia, and that's why everybody got a little tongue lashing about him to begin with. If you like this story, press like, subscribe. There's going to be some more stories coming out. There's so many people, so many of you guys, who really talk to me in a very good way. And I do respect you people. I want to take a little time out to say how much I appreciate some of your questions and remarks. You say, God bless you, you and your family. It means a lot to me.